Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice. Everything Nintendo. This is episode 136, being recorded on the 24th of April, 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, it's Harrison Milfeld.
Please tell me that was not intentional. That was not intentional because hi, everybody didn't see Lewis's cat decided to swipe at him. So hey, everybody.
For the sake of transparency, I must admit that was scripted. We had rehearsed that a few times before the show began.
Oh, absolutely.
As I think Colin alluded to last time, everything which happens on this show is done through a pre-written script by a very impressive team of writers, actually, which we legally can't mention by name. And as I just mentioned, we also do have Colin Crompton here today.
Hello. From my point of view, I wasn't looking at what's happening on screen, so I missed the cat swipe. I just heard the pause. I'm like, did Lewis just have like an aneurysm or something? Did he forget what was going on?
No.
I know, there was that pause. You're like, huh?
That's all shut back.
Indeed. Yeah, it's on the video on youtube.com/Nintendo Voice. You can check out our video content. And today we've got one of the shows that we do. We're going to have some what we've been playing. We've got some Nintendo news, and we've got the Super Topics. It's the thing we do every week. It itself shouldn't be news by now. It's a known quantity. However, let's jump straight into some what we've been playing, shall we? Okay, and let's do a little bit of a roundup. So, Harrison.
Yeah.
You're still busy currently. Nothing new on your side, is that correct?
Nothing new, but I can tell you that I do have something that's on the horizon at the moment. I am still waiting my copy of a review code for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, so I'll be reviewing that next week or probably, hopefully soonish before its release date if I can get my code in time. But I do actually I do have SteamWorld Dig 2 on mine, and I did actually recently about a month ago I did finish the first game, and I just haven't jumped into the second one, so I'll be able to talk about those two in full hopefully next week.
Cool. Interesting question. Have you played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U before, right?
Yes, loved it. That's
going to be an interesting, like, reviewing a game you've played before, but with tweaks, and that's going to be cool.
It is, but it's if it was like something I had reviewed before, then obviously there would be a little bit less concrete information, just basically be going over and how this thing reacts in docked mode and handheld mode and such, because I mean there are some significant updates to this aside from the new Funky Kong mode. Just jumping around on his little surfboard and avoiding spikes and stuff.
Just generally being funky. Obviously, like, if you are Funky Kong is also not manning the store. There is an imposter.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Funky Kong looked fun. I don't think it's a reason to like jump in again. Like, as it
price for a game, but again, for me, I never played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, so for me, I'm actually kind of intrigued about it.
It is a difficult game, Tropical Freeze. It's not like it's a cakewalk. It's not like it's a Kirby game and they've just added in an easy mode on top of it.
No, but it is probably retro of themselves, just refining what as best they can, the best of their ability with their platforming skills, because I feel like it takes and I mentioned this on the podcast before, is that I feel like they take the step from what Nintendo in Japan, and they up it a little bit more, because when you see it like Mario games, with a certain theme at different levels, you always have like one theme that's just kind of just pressed onto the level, whereas in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, you take one theme and they just kind of up it a little bit more, and just kind of increasingly gets a little bit more difficult along the way. And that's what makes me feel like, wow, they were able to make a great first-person adventure game, and now they're just aces right now with their platforming skills, especially with their level design.
Yeah.
Other than that, I didn't pick up Nintendo Labo. I did not pick up Nintendo Labo. Not because I'm against that thing or the thoughts of things that are for kids at heart. The prospect of building these things does look fun. It just I don't want me constructing a lot of things and it's just kind of all over the room. But I will say though, this is environmentally friendly because it's biodegradable, so that helps. And
well, there's a plus point.
I mean that, and there's the piano, which I was like,
Piano does look fun.
It does, but no, Colin, aren't you a classically trained pianist?
Yeah, but you can buy a cheap keyboard.
I know it's a cheap keyboard. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be kind of cool to play around with that?
I think it's like, what, 8 keys?
Well, I'm counting right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 keys with
so it only has 2 octaves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, from what I've seen, the software looks quite impressive. Like, you can record what you're doing, then use that as layers to, a bigger song sort of thing. But yeah, like with the fact that you can essentially like create your own noises as such for the piano to use and then record that stuff. It seems like there's a fair.
It's a cool little novelty thing.
Of course, they all are. I mean,
that's what they are. I mean, that's essentially it's, and I think this has been so far been quite a bit of a resounding success. I think so far, but nothing like Game Busters. But still, it's Nintendo's the type of company that can do this and then get away with it like easily. And I really do feel like it. And you know what? I applaud them for it. But I think my favorite Labo thing, like Labo related thing I saw on the internet was somebody took the what was it, like the little it's not like an RC car thing, but it's like where you have both the Joy-Cons, it's like a little cardboard thing on legs and you use the rumble to move it around. Somebody decided to put 2 steak knives on each of them and just said Nintendo Labo Deathmatch. I thought that was like this is gonna go some interesting places.
That's how Skynet is born. I'm not sold on it still. I think it's just an overpriced novelty. I mean, it's cool for what it is, but it's not for me.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Because it's not actually out here in the UK yet.
Nope.
Comes out later in the month. I will be getting it when it is available.
I can't wait for that cardboard to arrive.
Although I've not ordered it, I will buy it when it's out. Assuming it doesn't get sold out. I don't think it will.
I saw them at my local Target today, which also surprisingly I saw 2 Super Nintendo classics.
Oh,
surprisingly,
nice.
Still sitting there. So, everybody was worried those things were not going to be out, or were going to be hard to find. Yeah, I think that's kind of ended now, but still.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple in my local game shop. It's like they had like 3 or 4. So yeah, they seem to be pretty widely available, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
and the complaints of the original. So I still want to get one of those one day.
Yeah, I've seen them around. It seems a fair price as well. Like for the original asking price, because that was the thing with the NES Mini. It was obviously very hard to get for that original price. But yeah, I've seen the Super Nintendo Mini around. I'm tempted to pick one up because, to be fair, it's probably like the price of some Joy-Cons.
The only thing I don't like, I know this is a bit of a tangent, but the only thing I don't like about the Super Nintendo Mini is the flap at the front.
True.
I'm not I wish they just plug straight into the ports. They don't. You have to pull a flap down the facade of the original ports to get to the modified USBs.
Yeah, it was that was a strange design choice, but I think I don't know, maybe it had to deal with the aesthetics because something like those ports that you'd see, on the NES Mini, they looked almost the same as what we saw in there. I think that's the reason why they went with it. And if they decide to, the flap is like, oh, we want it to be aesthetically pleasing instead of like, oh, this looks strange. But
it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing when you're playing it. So that's the issue. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm looking forward to getting one of those at some point.
Cool.
But that's just me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Just trying to get some games in while also just staring at games in the game aisle.
Them Switch prices, eh? Ooh.
And some funky news to come.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about what I've been playing, which is something on the 3DS. Now, this is more of a lead into something else, because I've not played anything new on the 3DS, on my new 3DS, which is now old. But whilst playing this mystery game, which I'll talk about for not too long in a moment, I got a Spot Pass, I believe it's called, notification. For the Detective Pikachu demo, which I can't report on yet because I've not played it.
That's good
But I
news.
will, and I'm guessing I'll probably like what I play, and I'll probably actually buy the thing now that I'm actually playing on the 3DS again. And the reason I'm playing on the 3DS again is because I'm revisiting an old game with a friend. And that game, which I've talked about on the podcast at quite length before, so I won't go over it too much right now.
I was going to say, if you have a stab in the dark of what it is.
Of course you can. You can have a couple of
Let's see. I'm going to say Ace Attorney. One of the Ace Attorney games.
One of the Ace Attorney games. Okay. Harrison, any guesses from you?
I'm gonna go with that same guess as Colin. I really do feel like.
Oh.
One of the Ace Attorneys as well.
Mm.
Wow, half right.
Ooh.
Oh, that doesn't count. Come on.
All right. Okay. How about if I say it's a game called?
It's a crossover game, right?
Yep. Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright. Professor Layton.
This is Professor Layton.
Okay.
And this is a weird game. I forgot how weird this game was. I mean, like the premise.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember it more so of like the announcement. Oh, it's these two franchises going together. But if you ever like think about it more than just that, it gets very weird very quickly. But it's also a bit. At least it starts quite grounded, which surprised me going back to it because it's a very long game. And like Layton games are long, the Phoenix games are long, and this one, at least from memory, is like the longest of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like literally double one of those games. But it's probably like 1.5 once everything's said and done. But yeah, it starts off with quite this like heavy tone to it, where like quite soon into it, and so what is essentially like the trial case, as in for Phoenix because it's a trial or a case even. It already goes into themes like corruption of the court, and this is before they actually cross over. And like that stuff, there is a payoff at the end, and it's leaving like these breadcrumb trails for like these like reveals which happen later on, and it's quite clever for what it is. I'm really enjoying it, and it's quite cool to just like go back to those characters after playing some of the more recent games as well. And I guess it's been a little while since I've played either of those types of games. Because we had the announcement that there's gonna be some more Phoenix games coming to the Switch, which is cool. I'm not sure we've heard from Level 5 on the Layton front, beyond Catriella's game on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Not sure what's the future for that franchise. Hopefully we see another traditional one of those on Switch as well. That would be cool. But in a way, like the production values in this game are pretty high. Like, I think they're probably higher than either game from either franchise sort of thing.
Okay.
And so I think this would be a good contender, oddly, for like a sort of Switch or there's like HD update to it. Because there's like full anime cutscenes. There's lots of nice voice work. Obviously, not the full thing because that would be ridiculous. Because there's a lot of talking in these games.
It's a Phoenix Wright. Well, partially Phoenix Wright game, so it's going to be very text heavy.
Exactly, but for important moments, the characters just start speaking, which, in a weird way, is a little bit like it kind of it's not very consistent in that sense. Like you have some scenes where like one character is speaking and the others aren't. They're just text. The other one is voiced. But for the most part, it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's good to see these characters come along, and like the characters as well. They do feel true to their own franchises, which is quite an impressive step. Because they both got different art styles.
Yeah, I was going to say because Layton's art style was a little out there at times, with like the huge noses or whatever.
Yeah, and they kind of meld both of those worlds pretty successfully together and make a story which kind of it has themes from both.
Was it Level 5 then made this?
It was Level 5 who made it, yeah. Level 5 did all of it. I'm sure Capcom did some like consulting and so on, but yeah, it was a Level 5 developed game essentially. Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, a long story short, I've been playing my 3DS, and that that's kind of made me feel like, oh, there's actually a few 3DS games which still need to to get through. Like I've not played anything of Samus Returns, for example.
Okay.
You're right.
Nor have I played the recent Detective Pikachu, which I am interested in, or Fire Emblem Echoes.
I actually might be picking that up. You know how like Nintendo does for like your birthday month, like whatever comes in, they'll give you like a discount. And usually every single year, it's like I already own all these, I own all these, or I don't have any care. And this month, I was like, oh, Fire Emblem Echoes is on there. I never did pick that up because I was knee deep with everybody, which is in Switch fever. So I that might be probably one I'll definitely pick up.
Yeah, and I think like Echoes came at a time where we were like almost we're having too much Fire Emblem. Like, and it wasn't like this. Personally, I didn't feel it was like as eventful as Fates or Awakening.
Because it wasn't too long after Fates, and I mean Fates had it was like 3 games in one.
3, yeah, and I wouldn't say I got burnt out. And people say like, did you get burnt out? I was like, no, I just need a break in between that. It's like after getting through. First one I did was like Birthright and then Conquest. I still never played Revelation, but I feel like I may not do that because I just go straight to Echoes. But no, it was just like I'm glad we're getting all these Fire Emblem. But I'm just like, jeez, I need to finish all this other stuff quick.
So yeah, I feel if I tempt Fates and get Echoes, then we'll have some news about the Switch game, and I won't know what to do. Because they will reveal it and go, oh, it's out next month. Yeah, so that's pretty much the update from me. I mean, I've been doing some general updates and such on the Switch, but no major milestones as such. Still waiting on that Splatoon DLC and the Octo expansion, which should be soon, but not yet. So
I say Rank X is coming. Think to a couple days from now.
Yeah, I think it's either the day of recording or tomorrow. Depending on time zones. Not entirely sure. It should be there by the time I wake up. Colin.
Yes.
What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
What have I been up to? That's the eternal question. Okay, let's see. I'm going to dive in with Pokemon first, actually. So I'm playing more Pokemon randomized goodness. This is the ultra crazy randomization that I did, where everything's just kind of thrown against the wall. It's just mixes up all the rules and something interesting happened. So I had a Magikarp, a poison type Magikarp. I was very proud of it. I even named it Poison Fish, I think. It's just so I can glance and go, oh, it's Poison Fish. It's a poison fish. Magikarp. Okay, cool. It evolved in a very bizarre way. It evolved by growing 2 legs, 2 arms.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And 4 others. And it evolved into a milk tank.
All right. So I've not had that happen before in Pokemon.
No, it was an interesting experience. I was very confused.
I think it's actually weirder that. So I assume this Magikarp had like regular, as it were, poison attacks.
Yes, it had.
So it was not limited to Splash.
It did not have Splash at all. It had like a whole new moveset. So it was cool. And then it evolved into a milk tank, and it was just poison before. When it evolved, it turned poison dark. Which
oh, okay. I didn't know they could add.
They could add typings, which is intriguing. Yeah, weird. Very, very, very bizarre indeed. But it's still fun. It's the randomization makes things interesting. It is also going to. I haven't played Pokemon White version 2, or whatever it's called, before. And I've gone through the first few gyms now, and they're so much more well designed than I played Pokemon Black. Now I moved on to White 2. Yeah, they're just so much better. They're so much better. There's this cat trying to take over your screen right now.
It's doing quite well.
It's doing quite well, yes. So yeah. So anyway, that's Pokemon. That's random Pokemon. It's fun. It's crazy. I do recommend everybody at least gives it a go once or twice. It's quite interesting what happens. So that's that. I did start a new game today though. New game on the Switch. I've not played it before. It's not technically a new game for the Switch. It's been out for a while. But I've been playing Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Ooh, is this your first time playing it?
This is my first time playing it. And it left a very good first impression.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I feel like that's a little bit opposite for some of like for a friend of mine. Like he says like he felt like it was a little too easy probably going in, and I feel like I think that's what it's trying to do. It's just ease you in a little bit more. But I mean,
I can see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The combat so far has been very. I don't know. It's interesting because it's been very easy, but you can see the potential for like crazy strategies developing later on. Like the amount of ground you can cover in a single move, if you do it right, is insane. Like you can just go across the whole battlefield if you use like warp pipes or whatever. The only thing I don't really like about it that much is the plot. The story just is okay. It's just a really poor excuse to have this mashup of Mario and Rabbids. Like, oh, we got to think of a reason to get them together somehow. So this is it, because the Rabbids just come out of nowhere, like traveling around in this washing machine. And then they end up in the Mario universe. I'm like, okay, just like that, and
just like that. I mean, there's no explanation. Just go with it.
Yeah, and like the Rabbids are like considered bad guys, but you have two of them working with you, so it's very confusing for me. I mean,
they're not all bad guys, just the corrupted ones.
Because they got warped with something?
At the very beginning, there's the one which comes down with the weird VR goggles on.
Yes.
And he's like shooting weird corruption at things and turning them all weird and crazy and zany. And it's those things which are bad.
So why is it the Peach Rabbid and the Luigi Rabbid crazy?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It may not be explained. Maybe they just got lucky and they just avoided.
Because it makes no sense.
Yeah, I think I do like the premise of that game. I kind of wish it just kind of kept up at that pace. Like if there was just stuff happening, but yeah, it kind of has this intro, and then that's about it. It just sets up the world,
just basically,
and then sets up the game, and then there's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got this rabbit going around with this VR headset, which at first isn't melded to this rabbit, and then later on it just does, bizarrely. Yeah, he's just going around fusing everything with everything. So it's like, okay, and that's the beggar. That's the vid. Like, okay, well,
cool. So yeah, how far have you got into the game so far?
Not too far. I've just got to the point where you unlock the skill tree, which is really cool. I like that just looking through the skills that you can get. I'm like, wow, they give you the ability to like cover even more ground. And I'm like, that's kind of game breaking because I feel like you can already just cover so much ground, but you can unlock these skills that make you travel even further if you want to. It's like, huh. So yeah, that's far I got. It's just the skill tree unlocks. So I've beaten my first boss, which was the piranha plant rabbit, which was interesting. Yeah, it's good.
I still need to try it out, though. I mean, it just I don't know. Again, one of these things that really still I'm glad that got the success it did and everything out there. It's just I'm still trying to figure out how time to fit this both in, and that's just poor planning on my part.
Yeah, it's a great game, and it's something I was wondering as you were discussing. Did that Donkey Kong DLC ever come out? So I was keeping tabs on it for a while. I don't think it has.
I don't think so.
There is an option for downloadable content on the menu, but
no, you can. There is downloadable content. But specifically, I remember that trailer for we're adding Donkey Kong in some form at least. Is a cutscene.
Was that paid DLC or was it free? A free update?
I don't think they actually said, but I assume because there is a paid season pass, so I assume it's part of that.
Okay.
We've got Green Model on the chat. Trusted source here. No.
There was our confirmation. Thank you. It's like affirm, no.
Green Moblin also trusted source confirms Splatoon 3 or Splatoon update, I guess 3.0 comes out tonight in 3 hours. That's actually tomorrow for me.
That's 2 in the morning for us.
So, yeah.
I haven't got Splatoon 2, so I don't know why I'm worried about it.
Doing 3 now.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me.
That's all. Okay. Cool. So we'll find out more about your Mario & Rabbids exploits in future weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's a good start so far.
And hopefully I have some stuff to play to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be boring everybody here with just me staring out blindly out into the space of this Hangout chat. You can just see people just like, he just doesn't look interested. It's like, no, I'm listening. I'm just listening and enjoying everybody talk. And then find a good quip to say.
I think we should all at least play the Detective Pikachu demo. We should find our 3DSs.
Oh, hell no. You'll never get me playing. I'll never. No.
Not even the demo. It's free, Colin.
It's free.
You can say whatever you want about it. Once you're done.
Free. I don't want to. No.
You don't want to play the demo so you can talk about your feelings about Detective Pikachu again?
People know my feelings about Detective Pikachu. That thing is heinous. No.
It might change your mind.
No, it won't.
You might see him in a different light.
I don't need a...
You understand his complex upbringing and his social dynamics, and
it's a Pikachu in a detective outfit that can talk. There's no real thing about it.
But it's got a decent score from Metacritic.
Why can he talk?
It's 71 on Metacritic.
Them all.
71. I don't care his Metacritic score. It's dumb. The premise is dumb.
I want you to do something for me because I'm gonna play the game at some point.
Okay.
I want you now to guess the true ending, assuming it is addressed. What is the mystery of Detective Pikachu himself? Because surely it's going to go there. So why is there this Pikachu who talks and a detective? Is there a big mystery around that?
Company wanted money. That's why. I don't know. It's a marketing thing.
No, you can't think of a story related. You don't think, it's actually like the kid's dad stuck in a Pikachu's body or something, or with his lost memories.
Maybe that could be it. Although I am interested though in the movie next year because Ryan Reynolds is voicing Detective Pikachu.
All right, Colin, from the chat, so you must comply. Green Moblin again, trusted source. What do I need to do to get Colin to play Detective Pikachu?
Write me a check.
How much?
Write you a check for what? The game that you're going to buy a free demo?
I don't think that's
download a free demo.
I think it's going to be harder than that. Come on, we can do a stretch goal. What's the figure?
Is this going to be a new Patreon tier for us?
Potentially.
No.
If we reach
it, and then
if we reach like 20, I get this. If we reach 20 or even 30 patrons, you have to live stream it.
No. It ain't happening.
So, similar to the first reply we read out from Green Moblin, the answer is a firm no. All right, then, let's move on to the Nintendo news then. And the first piece of news we have is a bit of a blast from the past, something which never came out on a Nintendo system before, but it's been in talks with Nintendo and by Nintendo. And this is Night Trap. So the remastered edition of Night Trap is coming out for the Nintendo Switch. We don't have a firm release date yet, just it's coming soon, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, this will be the first release of this game for Nintendo systems. And this, of course, reason why it's somewhat Nintendo related, because during the I can't remember the actual year.
It was 19. It was like 1992 or 3, I believe.
Ooh, do you want to take this?
Yeah, considering it released over here, what happened in our side of the pond. For those who don't know, Night Trap was a game that was released on the Sega CD with, and of course, back for that game in particular featured full motion videos, like cutscenes and such, and they were very poorly edited, and it was kind of I wouldn't say more of a point and click. It was a full motion game that basically you had to protect these group of women from, like, I forget. Basically, it's like this this evil force.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very weird, and it basically one of a late actress by the name of Dana Plato was infamously starred in it, and it was not particularly good, but it was one of those games that people kind of saw interest in the Sega CD, and was one of the games alongside Mortal Kombat that was a bit of a linchpin for the video game industry, being kind of called out by the United States Congress, and to a point, base gave an ultimatum of creating a rating system. And then Nintendo of America President Howard Lincoln, he was up there in the congressional meeting, and he was once famously quoted as saying that Night Trap would never appear on a Nintendo console. Now, obviously, years have changed since then, because, you know, after about 2 years later, after the first edition of Mortal Kombat that was on the Super Nintendo, which, you know, replaced the blood with sweat, they basically they went back on that and they added blood. And to me, I just have a morbid curiosity for this. It's nothing I'm like, oh, this has to be on here, but it's like, I really want to.
Harrison sold already.
No, it's like I said, a morbid curiosity. That's it. It's not a good game. It's not by a good game in there. It's just it's a game that's it's an important piece of history during the 90s of what led to the creation of the ESRB.
So this is a remastered version, right?
Essentially, it's the same game, but it's got.
Are they going back and refilming everything? Because it was in like VHS quality.
That's the thing. They're not going back and refilming, but, you know, they filmed it in higher resolution than, you know, what the Sega's CD could display or run.
Even more blurry. It'd be amazing.
So it's now, you know, finally revealed that, you know, it wasn't anything to the violence or depictions of nudity or whatever. Not that it really had any. That Howard Lincoln was concerned about. It was the resolution of the video. It just needed to be a bit crisper.
There you are.
A bit sharper, and it's got that Nintendo seal of quality stamped on it.
No.
So yeah, again, like I'm echoing, like it's like an interesting history piece, but I'm not sure it's, for me, interesting enough to be added to the collection.
Oh, go! If anybody has a curiosity, just look up that it's like 1993 Howard Lincoln United States Congress. Like, just look up that video between them. It is just a fascinating piece of like video game history.
Yeah, right in the middle of the whole like early years of the 16-bit wars. So that was interesting.
Yep, and it was widely. It's also a very good chapter in Console Wars, the book too. So, which actually had a very interesting piece where I think one of the whoever, I think it was either Tom Kalinske or one of the guys that was like representing Sega of America. They countered basically with Nintendo puts out these type of accessories, which they pulled out the Super Scope, like to assume like it incited violence. I'm like, that's the one you're putting out.
Yeah. The Zap looked more threatening than the Super Scope.
And I owned a Super Scope.
Wow.
How many batteries does that thing take again?
Ooh, boy. 6? 8?
6 big ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the real weight comes from.
Oh, yeah, 6 of them. And then after 2 days, I'm begging my parents, like, yeah, we need to get this we need more batteries. I just bought you these 2 days ago.
That's insane.
Yeah, like, oddly, I think if I had a physical collection, this is something I'd be more tempted to add to it.
Okay.
But because of my digital only, I feel it's like I feel like almost the importance of this game is less playing it and more, you know, having something interesting on your shelf.
So are you
to
strictly playing digital for the Switch?
Apart from Zelda, everything's digital for me.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
It is an interesting decision, indeed.
He wants those the cash back on the coins. Every time it's an eShop purchase, to get more money on the coins.
Yeah, I mean, and like
that's actually a really good incentive though to go digital.
It is, and like since the process, like, the points have increased, I've noticed a much bigger, you know, kickback, as it were, on each one.
That's good.
Whereas before,
did you? Speaking of like file size, did you see what the file size for South Park, the Fractured Butthole, is on Switch? Oh, it's like near 20. It's near like 20 gigs, and then like I looked at that, I'm like, nope, that's a physical for me.
Yeah, I've already started doing like fridge cleaning on my 200 gig SD card.
Oh, blimey!
Which is time to reconsider things.
That's a little worrying. If you're going to go,
Exactly,
this
yes.
only, but I'm running out of space. Oh dear.
Yeah. It's either time for a bigger card or time to slow down the Switch game purchases. I don't know. Maybe the answer is to solve it with another purchase of a bigger SD card.
And they're getting cheaper, so
they are getting cheaper. That's not helping, is it? That's just encouraging my bad behavior.
See, Lewis, what's going to happen is you're going to have both people carry around like a case for like Switch games. Lewis is going to have a case of SD cards. So all these games are on. He just has to switch them out.
No. I've had memories of similar things of older portables. But no, I like the fact that it's
all in one.
Yeah, and it's kind of concealed in there, sort of thing. Yeah.
There you are.
So, next piece of news we have is on Bethesda. And they have been giving some glowing words on the Switch. So this was during PAX East, and the site who reported this is Game Reactor.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a quote from Bethesda's Senior Vice President of Marketing, Pete Hines. We have some surprises in store. We're going to be talking about a healthy number of new games and new products. And look, I'm really excited. We've been working on E3 for this year since September of last year. I've already 7-8 months into working on E3, but I really like how it's coming along. I think there's going to be something in there for everyone, regardless of what you play and what kind of games you're into. My biggest hope always is to deliver promise of E3. Lost the actual next bit here.
I'll say we got that quote went a little weird.
Yeah, I didn't have any Nintendo bits in there. My apologies, I didn't scan this.
Yeah, this is gonna. Yeah, we so technical that we were terrible at planning ahead, but well, I think well originally though that they were happy. Like I think what they mentioned, like they said that they're happy that they're supporting them. So
definitely.
That's it.
That's the nugget. That's the nugget of news that we need to do on there, and I think so. Yeah, I'm glad to actually. Knowing when it comes to the support here of the Switch, though, it's not fizzing away so far right now. I mean, you're getting the experiences on there, even if they may not be the top tier, like 100% copy what we're getting, but they're playable and they're enough on there. And then, a great example for that itself was Doom. And if the rumor is true that Bethesda is going to announce a sequel to this at E3, that's the rumblings here. Yeah, there's a good chance you're probably going to see it on Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that to me, like. I'm such a cynical person. For me, like Bethesda, you really want to prove you're behind the Switch. The next Elder Scrolls, I guess, is announced for the Switch. Not exclusively, but it comes out on the Switch too.
I feel like we're a while away from that one, though.
This is what I was saying last week, Colin. All these things that I proclaim that you would like, and you shoot down. And then...
I didn't say at E3 this year.
No, I did.
I'm just saying, whenever they announce it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to go crazy over it, but it'll be nice. It's a sign of we are firmly behind the system.
What about Doom 2? Well, they announced Doom 2 and they go, oh, it's coming out, this holiday. Also for Switch, same day.
And Panic Button's develop and doing the port.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
That'd be fine, but it wouldn't necessarily be like as much of a sign of confidence.
Because the Elder Scrolls is such a I won't say coveted series, but it's such a flagship RPG series. And for it to appear on PlayStation and Xbox, they go, oh, I need to switch out. If they do that, then it's like, you made a big mistake. It has to be a Switch version. If they are like, oh, we're fully behind the Switch. We'll see.
But, no.
All right, well, I guess from one Bethesda story to another, we've got a release date now for Wolfenstein 2 for the Switch.
And it is coming?
June 29th. Yeah, not too long. And there's a new trailer out for it. Obviously, since its announcement, we've seen off-screen footage of the game running on, I think, just docked mode. I'm not sure if we've seen it in portable, but you know the graphics look similar to Panic Button's Doom port, so it's very impressive stuff. I thought it might take a little bit of a hit in terms of its, you know, Wolfenstein's got more realistic art style.
I mean, we'll see what it's like when it's in your hand. But
oh, certainly, but like from the reports so far and the footage which is out there, it seems like this is a, you know, solid and stable port. It is, you know, it is Wolfenstein 2, which is cool. Like the big problem I've got is I've not played the original, as in the new original.
Yeah,
and it's a very story-heavy game. So
we've all played Wolfenstein 3D. I mean, I played the badly, highly edited one on the Super Nintendo, which of course replaced all scenes of basically the Third Reich imagery everywhere. And I was like, I think they replaced Robo Hitler in that one. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but this is early '90s Nintendo. So
that's what they did. I don't know. But yeah, I never played the Super Nintendo version. But yeah, obviously I played Wolfenstein 3D. Never played the original Wolfenstein. Never played the game that inspired Wolfenstein 3D. But yeah, I think I'll attempt to play Wolfenstein for Xbox One, PS4, as I shall call it now, before I pick up 2. But it's that weird thing then, is that if I'm already playing 1 on something else, what's the benefit of playing number 2 on the Switch?
You just want you want to continue the continuity, I'm saying.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, it will probably be cheaper on a different system.
Fair.
And so unless I'm playing it portably, what incentive do I have? Why did I even wait, sort of thing? But again, it's that sort of thing, like, oh, number 3 comes round, or...
They could have done a thing where, like, for the Switch, I was going to be getting 2 a little bit later. But okay, you buy 2 later, but you get the first one for free. But here's a port to the first one. That would be nice.
That would be, yeah.
It would be more work, but it would have been worth the wait for Switch owners, I think.
Oh, definitely, and I think you would see a lot more people like jumping on board, because I think there's a problem where like some people just haven't really played the series in general, and not really convinced that they're like it's a series for them.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what's necessarily unique or special about Wolfenstein compared to just a generic first-person shooter. Yeah. And then like the point I was making is that like it is a direct story sequel. So we have another update from the live chat. Our trusted source, Green Wobble. Adding to the Wolfenstein 2 discussion, I started the second one and didn't play the first. There's a choice you make right away, and I had no idea what to pick due to not playing the first one. That said, other than that, nothing else has been too lost on me as to make me want to play the first one instead. Well, Green Goblin, I will do some research. Maybe I will just jump number 1.
Basically, he did what my friend did for when he got introduced to Mass Effect, which was for the second one, which I will say out of the 3 Mass Effects is my least favorite. My favorite, of course, is being the first one and the second and the third one, but not because. And then, of course, you had the choices in there. You had to make it back, but that's just me. So I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
So what else we got, Lewis?
Well, we've also got one last piece of news, which is about Valve. I'm mentioning Valve in the Nintendo podcast.
This better not be a prank about some hints about Half-Life 3, and I know it's tiring.
It's like, who cares about Half-Life 3? Why is that such a big deal?
Well, it's not so much Half-Life 3. It's more of a where the heck is like Episode 3? And I know this has been beaten to the ground to death for almost the past decade. Like it's like Half-Life 2 Episode 3, and it's like you played Half-Life 2 episode the post DLC episodes, right, Colin? Any of them?
No.
Well, spoiler warning for everything. At the end of Half-Life 2 Episode 2,
right,
it ends in a cliffhanger. That's it.
Okay.
The release was included on the orange box, which I will go to my grave saying that's probably one of the better like compilations out there. Of course, because you got Half-Life 2, both episodes 1 and 2, Team Fortress 2, which the console version is not that good, and of course Portal. So out of that whole thing, it's just because it's the waiting, whether it's alive or not, and of course
to me, like this Half-Life Episode 3, it's like the Brother 3 thing. I'm like, is it really that big of a deal?
Well, the difference being is Mother 3 actually exists. Half-Life 3, not so much.
Okay, fair enough.
Because
Mother 3 is more likely to happen, which...
the thing is, you can play Mother 3. You can play you can play the fan localization. It's just people are, diring want an official release because they feel like me, I want to give money back to Shigesato Itoi and the rest of the creators for what they've done. That's basically it. And I know I'm going on a tangent for when it comes to it. It just
I should not mention Mother 3, should I?
No, I've not even finished.
I'm still the belief because of Earthbound Beginnings. I look at that, I'm like, you know what? If there's smoke, there's fire. Someday it may happen. I don't know because
I think that's the best segue I'm going to get. So I'm going to run with that. With the theme of fire, Valve acquires Firewatch Studio, Campo Santo. So Firewatch isn't out yet on Switch, but it is coming soon.
I think it's like second quarter of this year. I think it's coming.
So by the time it's out, it'll be a Valve game.
I guess
a Valve be somewhat
acquired. I mean, that phrase gets chucked around quite a lot. Like it might not be done by that point. These things can take time. Sometimes it might be. Sometimes these things get fast tracked for one reason or another. But yeah, this, and I guess this can go back to the Valve conversation. Depends how much we want to add to it. But there seems to be a trend of Valve actually making games, which sounds absurd to say, but I mean they've not really produced many new games recently. And it seems like that trend may be changing. So it might. I'm not sure if we'll have like other types of announcements, or like this is going to be it sort of thing. Like I'm not sure they're ramping up.
Game developer is now developing games again. That's what it sounds like. What was the last thing Valve made themselves? Was it?
Well, this is kind of my point.
There's Dota 2. There was.
They had. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because Dota 2 makes so much money.
And they recently announced. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a card game.
Okay.
But it looks like it's got a surprising amount of depth and such put into it. So if you're into like card games, this actually looks like it's a really good product.
Okay.
But yeah, like it seems they're making the moves now, as it were. There may be more to come. This might just be things lined up. It made sense to do this. Yeah, we're gonna have at least a Valve related game on the Switch.
It's not
which isn't Bridge Constructor Portal 2.
Well, that too, and hopefully it's the infamous Valve time, as we like to hear things.
Update from our trusted source. My uncle at Nintendo said that Half-Life 3 is coming exclusively to Switch, and that Freeman is going to be in the next Smash. Sincerely, your trusted source.
Of course.
Is this trusted source the G-Man?
Mr. Green.
He's called Green Moblin.
And G is obviously for G, and Moblin is for man. So it all adds up. Here is your G-Man, your trusted source all along. Unfortunately, I think he's broken his trusted source reputation during the episode of a single episode. It's really how you get your reputation. You've got to make the big stakes, and you got to.
It could be right. You never know.
Exactly, and when
might have an uncle at Nintendo,
right, then everyone will take
I mean, to be fair,
fact the next thing.
Green Moblin didn't say this. His uncle at Nintendo said this. So his source, if it's unreliable, then it doesn't really affect his.
No, it does. There's a trust chain, you see.
Oh, I see.
Sources will have sources, and they need to trust each other. And then until you go out and you didn't read the journalism book I posted out to you.
No, I didn't.
Read the journalism book? Wait,
I didn't read the source manual.
Posted Colin.
I didn't read the source manual. I'm sorry.
That is the problem. All right, Colin, are you ready for a super topic?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Excellent. All right, we're moving on now to the super topic. And what a super topic is, it's a feature of the podcast, which is of your own creation. If you want to ask us a question, if you want to just come up with a theme or anything really, all you need to do is check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. There will be a post on there each month about super topics. Just chuck a reply in what you would like us to do for a feature. And it's as simple as that. So our super topic this week comes in again from Jonathan Cruz, who asks us, what's your... it's a bit broken, this. I'm not sure if it got cut out or something, but just roll with it. Okay. What's your favorite meal and beverage to go with it? Now, who in the Nintendoverse would be best to cook it, and who would be best to enjoy the meal with? How would that dinner go? Would it be a date, maybe? Winky face.
Trying to get some more info out of us. Meal and beverage to go with any type of game, like when I'm gaming. I feel like before we started doing super topics, I think we may have mentioned this, whatever. I think no, it was snacks related to what we do in directs, and I had mentioned.
Yeah, I think that was from Illustrations, actually.
You might, yeah, I believe you were correct on that, Lewis. Now in terms of what I would be for this though, meal and a beverage depends on my day. If I'm just gaming during the day, I just will not fine with something, whether it's like tea, or if it's a lunch meal, I'll just find any type of lunch, whether it's stuff that I warmed over from last night, where it's just warmed over pizza, or it's not at night. Same thing could be like that, because everybody knows when it comes to refrigerated pizza and nuking it, it is the best refrigerable. Like, it's the best type of food out there. So
it's gorgeous. Absolutely.
No, and I don't know. I was just looking at my phone right now, just thinking like, what was that? But
pizza.
No, but now in terms of the Nintendoverse, which interesting name take on there, who would best to cook it? We all know Kirby would obviously be the best to cook it. I mean, we know
Kirby can cook anything.
Yeah.
Anything on the screen, he can cook it. All at the same time.
Now, how would that dinner go? Not sure. Would it be a date? I'm not going to tell you that information because I'm a gentleman and I don't describe details out of a date. If something like that, I don't know.
So you're taking Luke, I guess, as your meal companion, Luke, the partner to the gentlemanly Professor Layton.
Not quite.
Why would he take like a 10-year-old boy out for dinner? What the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
10-year-old with him on his adventures, but I'm sure they have.
That's getting to a line where I'm like, I'm out of here. Okay, that's no. That is worded badly.
Blame Colin for that.
What?
Yes, I will blame him for that.
I didn't say anything. I was just like, Lewis brought it up.
I did.
Oh. See, Harrison kind of hit a gold mine there, because pizza is really good. A really good snack.
I don't mind alcohol though with my gaming expertise at night.
I can only drink if I'm playing like a party game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm playing an RPG, like there's no point. But yeah, if I'm playing like a party game, I will partake in the alcoholic beverage. Besides that, yeah, it's just like
So you mentioned pizza. What's a good game with pizza in it?
A game with pizza in it?
It's got to be a few. Beyond TMNT? Or Cooking Mama?
Cooking Mama? I never played any of the Cooking Mama games.
I think I did. I'm not sure why.
I think maybe on the Wii.
Was there a Wii game with a multiplayer as well mode?
Was there a Wii game? Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. God. If there was, then why?
Why did I have it?
Why did it exist, and why did Lewis play it?
All good questions. What I'm thinking of also is like games that you're not necessarily eating while you're playing that game, but like, games which have food in them.
Okay.
And that might play in your mind and might affect what you eat later on.
Okay.
And so in a similar theme to earlier, so again, I've been playing some Phoenix versus Layton. And in that, there's this, it's an interesting side story where the character of Maya which is Phoenix's sidekick through most of the games.
Mhm.
In the Western localization, she is mad for burgers. And that's what I knew her character as for quite some time.
The burger lady.
I distraughtly found out that she's actually mad for noodles. I
Oh,
believe it's
no.
noodles, but it's something of that vein, and they just completely changed it because it's never visualized in any way in the actual games themselves. But yeah,
Weird translation. Okay.
it is, but I mean, I guess they commit. But there's some quite swooping localization changes in those games because they are set in America, over here. But they're
we
not.
do have noodles in the West. I mean,
true.
So
maybe it wasn't noodles. Maybe it was a more specific thing. But yeah, I was playing it recently, and like they did the usual gag because those games do like they're like returning like ladder gags. And the Britain burger thing is, and I had burgers recently, and I reckon those things are connected. So anything like that, Colin? Do you played? I'm trying to think of a game which actually has some like nice looking foods in it.
You see, that's the thing.
What about Monster Hunter World? That looked like it might have had some.
It has some glorious food in it, but I couldn't cook that. That's like chunks of meat. I don't have time to go out and like kill a bear and get some meat.
You don't have the time to go out and kill a bear. That is the big concern there.
That's find a bear in the UK.
If only you had more time.
Highly unlikely. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone fond of milkshakes here to go with a video game?
Depends what type of milkshake. I mean,
chocolate.
Well, I mean, like homemade, I presume, or something from anywhere else.
I never had a homemade milkshake.
I was gonna. Well, it depends on the definition of homemade again. Are you talking about just like the powder and pouring milk into it, or are you talking about you bought a like one of these things?
But no, that's a pre-brought milkshake.
What is it exactly? I was just wondering if that was the distinction.
I was thinking homemade, like you make it yourself type deal. But yeah, no. What games have milkshakes in?
I can think of it. I was thinking that was I was just trying to think of like I don't think I really changed my eating and drinking habits too much whilst gaming in that sense. So like you very rarely like actively eat in game. At least I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not particularly a snacky person, so maybe this is why it's not great for me. Like I like just having like big meals. I don't have much in between them.
I do enjoy nibbling on a good breadstick.
Ooh, like a breadstick nibble.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They are. It's like wicked. It's easy finger food. It's great.
Have you had a little nibble on a breadstick while playing any particular games you can think of? Colin.
Oh yeah, loads, but mainly Monster Hunter.
Mainly Monster Hunter and a breadstick nibble.
There you are. That's the secret, folks. You want to be good at Monster Hunter? Get yourself some breadsticks.
Yeah, you heard it first. I mean, most time when people say that expression, you've heard it here first. I'm pretty sure that this would be the first time you've heard that advice.
I would like to think so. If it isn't, then
it was actually the secret to your success all along.
Actually, I think what one thing that did make me actually kind of hungry just playing it, the food level in Super Mario Odyssey. I was running through it. I was like, you know what? I could actually go for some like sugary desserts right now.
The subliminal messaging of Mario Odyssey is convincing, like fueling our hunger.
Actually, there's a little bit of a theme, like with like big Switch releases. Could you think about launch title Breath of the Wild? There's loads of food in it, and some of them actually look quite nice. You make something, you chuck in some random ingredients, you come out and go, "Ooh!"
Unless it's heavily censored, in which case it's horrible.
Can I have one of those?
One of my favorite memes from like that when Breath of the Wild was released, somebody just showed like a photo of like a skillet and they had like a banana and all these different things. Like I don't think it's working really well in Breath of the Wild. So
Breath of the Wild, you can mix like most things and it works.
Yeah.
It's only if you try and mix like bugs for stuff that is
bad. If you mix the monster parts with the food and
otherwise
you get something.
Yeah. Works. It's like, okay.
Omelette.
Right out in real life, no. So, yeah.
Okay, so I feel we've only dug into part of this question here.
Okay.
So we've got a selection of foods and drinks, but who's cooking it? So we've had Kirby as a suggestion. I guess Link would be, as in Breath of the
I was
Wild.
going to say
pretty good
Link,
choice.
because clearly he's some sort of master chef.
Yeah, like just make sure he's got no monster parts at hands.
Well, no, but all he needs is a pot of the fire. He's well away.
Yeah. And
Stand back. Yeah.
any kind of more off the wall choices?
There's not too many characters that cook that I can think of.
Exactly, but who would be a good cook? So no, we've not like necessarily witnessed him cooking.
Okay.
There's some references to cooking in Pikmin 3.
Well, yeah, because you have to collect all the fruit for the juice.
Exactly, yeah. And like originally, like, the name Pikmin come from the pick carrots, which I can't remember if they're a real thing or not.
Are you asking if they're picked like carrots? I mean, they're picked from the ground.
Oh, no, the name. I think the name Pikmin, I don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure it's a thing. There's something called a pick carrot or something, and they look a bit like what a Pikmin was, or inspired the design, and then that name got turned into Pikmin. Maybe that story is completely rubbish, but I remember it from somewhere. It might have been like in like Oliver's diary entries in game, going, "Oh, it reminds me of a pick character from home." That's probably where that's from. It's funny how these things get twisted in your mind. But yeah, I think the any of the captains from Pikmin, they will make good chefs.
Okay.
Cook
You've got nothing to base that on. It's just like, they're in outer space. They got to know how to cook.
Well, to be fair, I mean that puts them. The fact that they've got to space travel at least, that puts them ahead of a lot of Nintendo characters. Like it.
Okay.
You just look at them and you just want to shake them and shout at them, "Who are you? What are you?" Where at least it resembles some sort of human civilization. Basis of cooking. All right, we've got a few selection of cooks. If any more interesting ones come to mind, do shout out. So who's a good dinner date?
Like
we mentioned Kirby for cooking, but he's probably a good dinner date.
I mean, you can't finish.
No, he's gonna. No, have you seen the cartoon? He'll eat all the food. I'm sorry.
True. I mean, that's the event. Like, if you got a separation between your food, like I'm sure you could have a good.
Then the bill would be so high. The bill would be really high.
With Kirby, does Kirby appreciate the taste of things, or is he just at a point where he just consumes? Like, it doesn't matter if it's a rock.
Am I right in saying that like the inside of Kirby is like another dimension or something?
What? For a second?
The inside of Kirby, the reason he can swallow so much is because it's like another dimension.
Where did this come from? Was this also at Captain Marvel's Island?
Wait, did you get that from Death Battle?
I don't know. I think that was something from Death Battle. Somewhere. That's the inside of Kirby's stomach. That's interesting.
It's basically the same concept from Greed from Full Metal Alchemist, which is
that's true actually. Yeah,
which makes me look at Kirby in a whole new light.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dinner dates.
A good Nintendo dinner date.
I'm gonna say
someone you can have a good conversation with, I'd imagine.
Princess Daisy.
Why Princess Daisy? Does she have a personality?
I think Peach is too picky.
True.
I feel like Daisy's the worst. I feel like Daisy's the worst out of all the princesses.
Why?
Clone of Peach.
I'd rather be Pauline. How about that? At least she's sophisticated. She's sophisticated.
She can sing.
Well, not sing. She's sophisticated.
She's a mayor. Yeah, she must have some interest.
Lewis and Colin. She's a mayor.
She has obviously a full-time job mayoring, and also has spare time to put on this glitz and glamour show. I think that's a good shout. That's the problem. Yeah, I think this is like I think a weakness of Nintendo characters.
Oh,
in the sense like they are rubbish dinners. No, that, like, obviously because they're like very gameplay driven. They're not like they're not created because of an interesting story or a complexity of character.
right.
They have interesting designs when you look at it because you can actually point. Well, that's the thing with Nintendo characters. It's like you could easily go to somebody, be like, hold up a picture of Yoshi, and nobody's never seen like played many games. They'd be like, "Oh, that's Yoshi." I mean, that's the thing that comes off with these characters. I mean, you can't say the same for like Metroid, for instance, with Samus. Like, who's this? They probably wouldn't recognize it unless the hardcore. But whereas with Mario characters, different. So
yeah, and like Samus is an interesting choice actually. But the point I was going to make is a lot of Nintendo characters just don't actually speak at all, and so you rule out a lot of potential dinner dates there. I feel.
I mean, you actually want to start busting out like the sign language, like, "Hey, how's it going?"
How's it? Well, works bad.
Works bad.
Maybe one of the Animal Crossing animals, because you chat to those animals in the game. You have conversations with them.
It's a little bit awkward though when you're eating, like, if you're having dinner with them and you're eating meat and you're like talking to this animal.
I feel like though a lot of the characters though have very short attention spans. It just seems like when you look back in the series of games, it's like you don't talk to them for a few days, like about a day in Animal Crossing time or whatever, and they'd be like, "Why haven't you talked to me right now?" Like it's been 12 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, go away.
We've got a trusted source here to save our bacon, as it were.
Bacon.
Answer to me would be a nice hot rock with a Darunio from Ocarina of Time, cooked by Bowser's hot fiery breath. Ooh, and a nice spicy jalapeno margarita.
Oh,
when he said rock, I don't think this is a thing in America, but there's a food called rock in the UK. You can buy a stick of rock. It's like the sugary, sweet ball stuff. When he said he'd like a nice hot rock, I was like, "You must eat a sugary stick." So, okay,
that would work. I mean, to be fair, that probably works better than the actual suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Duderonia does like his rocks.
Don't all girls love the rocks?
Sweet tooth all along. But yeah, oddly, like I guess the more humanoid characters would be better for this. Like, yeah, Samus, that seemed to be a good choice. Have a dinner date with her. She has lots of interesting stories of space.
And monologuing, depending on which version.
Oh god, yeah. It's
right, you can interject
version. You could I would have left the table, but like, keep talking. Just keep talking.
Yes, I understand about the baby. We know. Okay.
Yeah.
Context is important.
Again, that just.
God, shut up about the baby.
And that's not against the voice actors. I think what was it like? She good voice actress on there. I didn't. I feel like I talk so much about. There's a thing about Other M that comes up, and I'm just like, it's a fine, solid 7 out of 10 game if you forgive all the abhorrent parts. I'm talking like portions of the gameplay, but. I feel like there's at least one point in time my mind activates when we mention Other M, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't hate it like parts of the internet do. I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that's it.
It's a good game. It's not. It's on the same level as Odyssey for me, but yeah, it's alright.
No, not that. It's. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. No. I just compared Other M to Odyssey. His mind can't hack it. You're a fringe minority when it comes to that.
Well, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's okay. The game's okay.
I don't know. It's like I think I go back to Mario Odyssey more often than Other M. That's the thing. That's a fact.
I think everybody does. Yeah. Even when Other M was irrelevant, it wasn't really. I didn't play it that much, to be honest. I think I finished it once and then went back to it. Anyway. What are we talking about?
We have an update. Trusted source.
Oh.
Another suggestion here. Or a lollipop with Bayonetta. We'd share the same one. Oh. It would be our first date.
So
that's sweet, isn't it?
One, he's a very brave man because that is a very stern lady. 2, a lollipop doesn't really count as dinner. That is, for as I'm aware. It could be a lot of lollipops, I guess.
It could be a lot of lollipops.
Just increase the quantity. There you are. Dinner done.
Maybe it's just a magical lollipop which never depletes.
Well,
Bayonet.
Like an everlasting gobstopper. What the hell are you talking about?
Essentially that, yeah, with a stick at the end of it.
All right.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna give Willy Wonka a call and just like
That would be a very
get to work on it.
intimidating dinner date.
Mm.
Because Bayonetta is a very tall woman or witch.
She's very long limbs. Yes.
I'm not. Does she have an actual like addressed height to her? Because she looks inhumanly high.
I think most just go with tall.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, do. I think the last thing. I think there's a bonus.
The first article I get about Bayonetta's height is from Kotaku. Is Bayonetta a giant?
Probably.
Yes.
Apparently, the thing, the way it goes, it's saying like 8 feet tall, which I don't believe.
So I could believe that because she's always very tall and she's always like never standing up straight.
Yeah, she's always in a weird pose.
She's always like leaning back as well, sort of thing, and somehow is much taller than everybody whilst doing it. Yeah, it's the height of a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Just quite well. But yeah, I've got a little bonus question I'm going to add in there. Help us out a bit, maybe.
Okay.
So, if you had to eat a Nintendo character, and it can't be Kirby.
Lewis, think about what you're asking here. It's like something from the Mario universe. That's like cannibalism. Like,
I didn't say Mario Universe.
I'm just saying that most characters are humanoid.
Any
Okay.
Like it could be a creature. It could be something people would eat themselves.
Okay.
Anything from any of the Nintendo universes out there.
I'm pretty sure Goomba would be quite nice to eat.
I was about to say that. I was like, how would fried Goomba be?
Mushrooms, I guess.
Maybe something like that.
I bet Yoshi tastes
just a guess.
Chuck Yoshi in a pan, that'll do. Fry him up a little bit.
Do you reckon like a Metroid would be like eating like jellyfish sort of thing?
Do people eat jellyfish?
No.
Or squid?
Apparently we do now. So
People eat squid. People eat jellyfish, don't they? You have a bit of jellyfish on your.
I've never seen a jellyfish on a menu, so
not on its own.
You
just order it on a plate.
one jellyfish.
Oh,
Bring it to me.
I was just thinking of the little squidgy Metroid amiibo. The actual amiibo.
Oh, it is a good amiibo.
It's an amiibo. It's just
It is a very good amiibo. I like to squish it. It's awesome.
Well, I now know what Harrison does in his free time. He squishes his amiibo.
No, that's one of the weirder out of context lines that will probably be pulled from this podcast.
There you go. You're welcome.
What about rabbit? Could you eat a rabbit?
I feel like I would go insane eating those.
You might catch something off it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've eaten rabbit.
Exactly. I mean, there's a.
What does rabbit taste like?
It tastes like a rabbit.
I know, but like, what's it comparable to? Like
that was a great answer, Colin.
I know. It's like top of the line right there.
It just tastes like it's like.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to compare it to anything. This is such a lame answer, but the closest I can give you is it's like chicken.
Like everything else, apparently.
Like everything else.
Everything is like chicken. I hear.
It's meat.
It's meat.
Yeah.
I think you have the same taste buds as Kirby in my mind canon.
You know what?
Just consumer.
I don't taste anything
of protein and energy and.
There we are.
But for the sake of curiosity, though, if we were to eat Kirby, I would say he would taste like cotton candy with a little bit of gum, and maybe some magic thrown in there.
Because he's pink.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of see it. Yeah.
I think that's like even if no one's discussed it, I think a group of people would collectively come up with that same thing of like, oh, what does this character taste like, and show up a picture of Kirby. Yeah, cotton candy.
Can I just quickly throw a say? This is the weirdest podcast we've ever done.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe that for a second.
No. I think we've gotten weirder ones, but oh well.
I feel like we're in Bizarro land right now.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some really obvious choices. Like there is, I can't even remember the name. There's like Pokemon based off of ice cream, and
Yeah, but that's
all
like eating a
sorts
live
of-
creature.
well, you could give it a lick.
You could eat a Pikmin. I mean, there are those animated shorts where it shows Olimar actually, I think, is kind of eating a Pikmin. I haven't seen them all, but I saw a preview.
Okay.
That's probably where he's eating the actual pick carrots. That's my guess. Still coming
Mhm.
together. The Pikmin just mistaken for other Pikmin and are horrified.
Yes.
It's just carrot juice.
Hmm.
It'd be great if that was never a thing.
I feel like our ideas of cannibalizing Nintendo characters has gone far too long here.
Fair enough. All right. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We're going at darker territory, then we're just going to go into.
We could squeeze another 45 minutes out of this, but we ain't going to. I'm telling you.
No, it will. No, it was going to go further to a point like, oh, which one do you eat? And then it's going to be like going down to like, which one of these Nintendo characters would you like to hunt? And I'm just like,
yeah.
oh, right.
Which of these characters would you eat to survive? Like, no, I'm right.
I'm personally surprised no one considered Waluigi for the date.
I thought it to eat. I was like, what?
All that. I'm shocked.
Waluigi would probably just
not come up in this discussion.
It'd be a bit free.
Waluigi would probably throw out his usual wahs, but also a lot of a meme. He'd be like one of those people who just like converse in memes.
You want to kill him by the end of the night.
Oh, if his CV was of a date, I reckon if you were eating him, he would just be like poisonous. Like you, exactly. Like that's his right, and also just his character and his mannerisms. He is just poison. So you would not have a good time if you ate them.
Waluigi is poison. There's a title for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. That will do. So that's a super topic for you. Feel free, and yeah, if you head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Voice, you can check us your own suggestions, and we'll cover in a future episode. However, that is going to do it for today's show, for this week's show. What we do every week, before we close this show, we'll go around, we'll let you know how you can get hold of us and anything else we've been up to. And so, Harrison, where can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You can find me at Twitter at HMilfeld, and if you want to become my Switch friend, I have my friend code pinned to the top of my profile. Pointing your little thing to get your cat there, I see.
No, the cat's out the room. This is a little plastic sword.
Looks like a plastic katana.
It is, yeah.
Okay, it is a plastic katana. There you go.
Lewis is armed. Oh, interesting.
Only with one. If there's any keen eye watchers who can identify what this plastic sword is from, then some sort of prize to you. Well done. Colin, how can people get hold of you if they so choose to?
If you would like to, you can find me on Twitter at HardyandBard, which is spelled however you think it is. You can find me streaming on Mixer every single day at 6 p.m. UK time. Lately, I've started doing a thing every Monday. I'm doing a Mario Kart tournament.
Mario Kart tournament?
Mario Kart tournament. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't it?
People should check it out.
People should.
There you go. For myself, if you want to get hold of me on Twitter or Instagram or other services, the name you need is Leuvision, and the way you spell such a name is Leuvision. And I have nothing further to plug here. So, thank you once again for listening, and this has been Nintendo Voice.
Don't eat Kirby.
Don't eat amiibos in general.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
It tastes plasticky and, like disaster.
You'll probably die.
Yeah.